Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. Finally, the time has come when we are going to have our discussion on the crazy month of April. So friends, why I said this month crazy? Because it's a very unique phenomena that in transit, all the 9 planets are going to be changing signs in 1 month. And the story doesn't end over there. Even solar eclipse is also going to take place this month. So friends, I have already uploaded individual videos on the transit results for Rahu, Ketu, for Jupiter. So in this video, I will try to combine everything and I will try to give you the guideline, the direction that how the combined planetary energy is going to be impacting you, influencing you this month. And friends, just because I am uploading this monthly prediction video after a long time, so certain guidelines which you need to know is that first of all, in order to land at any important decision, it's not only the transit, you have to take into consideration your individual chart, yoga and ongoing dashas which you are running through right now. But definitely this is the month of triggering events. So whatsoever yoga and dashas you are going through, in the same direction, results can be experienced in a very sudden, unpredictable or intense way as well. And friends, the second thing is that it's a universally known principle that whenever moon transit from from your moon sign or from your ascendant, 6th house, 8th house, 12th house, that is considered as, or those days are considered as little bit emotionally vulnerable. And whenever there is a Gaj Kesari yoga which gets formed in the transit, whenever moon is in transit conjunct with Jupiter or 4 places, 7 places, 10 places ahead of it, that is considered as a very optimistic, very promising time. So now friends, before we will jump to the customized results, first let's just try to understand how and in which way planets are moving this month. So friends, beginning with the king of the planets, the planet Sun, as you know that half of the month Sun is going to be transiting in the Pisces sign, so which can be seen as a very good sign for spiritual pursuit, being very humble and demonstrating proper humility, being very much devoted towards the concern and pain and feelings of other people. And afterwards, Sun, after around April 14th, Sun is going to enter the sign of Aries, which is going to be its sign of exaltation. The second thing is that once Sun is going to enter the sign of Aries, it's going to get conjunct with Rahu over there as well. So we are going to have the solar eclipse at the end of the month, but definitely friends, that is going to be a very triggering time, very sensitive time where you have to remain very cautious. It's very simple friends, like if in your chart yogas promises some prospects of fame, recognition, opportunity, that is going to happen. And if your chart is indicating some defamation, some getting entrapped in any scandal, so that is going to happen. So the thing is, whenever Rahu comes in contact with a strong sun, exalted sun, whatsoever happen, that happens in a very triggering, in a very sudden way. So you have to remain a bit cautious and you have to take into consideration what kind of yogas and dashas which you have in your chart, and you have to keep your ego in control. Now friends, from a Mars's perspective, so definitely Mars, which has been enjoying its full dignity, full strength, full glory until April 6th. But on April 6th, Mars is going to come out of the Capricorn sign and it's going to enter the sign of Aquarius. Now friends, the beauty of the Aquarius sign is that, trust me on this thing, I have read, I have studied a lot on Aquarius. I have not found any planet to be finding it difficult to manifest good results or harmonious results in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarians are those kind of very innocent people who never rub someone in a wrong way. So the point which I'm trying to make over here is that even when Mars is going to enter the sign of Aquarius, it is still going to be in a state, in a dignity where it can manifest good results. Specifically, if in your lifestyle, socialization, group activities, being very revolutionary, very crusader kind of mindset, if that is getting applicable in your case, you can definitely get benefited. So that is from the Mars's perspective. Now if you want to understand the role of Mercury, the prince of the planets, so definitely friends, Mercury is going to go debilitated on March 24th only till April 7th. And during this time it's going to briefly get conjunct with the planet Sun as well. So you have to be very cautious because Mercury, the significator of communication, being debilitated and conjunct with Sun, that too in the sign of emotions, feeling. So whatsoever you want to express, you want to communicate, you want to tweet, so because we are witnessing many unpleasing incidents which is happening around the globe, so try to remain a bit cautious while commenting or expressing yourself, that you should not get swayed away by the emotions. And friends, afterwards, like from around April 8th till April 24th, Mercury is going to be transiting in the sign of Aries. Now friends, imagine in the sign of Aries, Mercury is going to get conjunct with like the planet Sun as well. Briefly, it's going to get conjunct with Rahu as well. So that is going to be time when whatsoever your intentions are, Rahu will definitely going to gain strength during this time. So specifically friends, for all those people in whose case anything to do with artificial intelligence, technology or tech related fields, mass media, fame prospects are getting qualified, trust me, some out of the box way of working, thinking, executing can actually manifest some very good results. And during the last segment, Mercury is going to move to the, after like April 25th, it's going to enter the sign of Taurus. And friends, if you want to understand from Venus's perspective, so definitely friends, as you know that from 31st of March, like the end of the March, until 26th of the April, Venus is going to be like transiting in the Aquarius sign only. So Mars and Venus are again going to get conjunct, and the Venus in transit in the Aquarius can be seen as a very good sign, like actually experiencing harmony within the friend circle, spending time with your loved ones, with your friends, group activities, and finding or making some new connections. So from all of those perspective, the transit of Venus being conjunct with Mars and briefly with Jupiter can be seen as a good sign, promising sign. Friends, from Jupiter's perspective, so definitely Jupiter is finally going to make a final move. It's going to come out of the Aquarius sign. It's going to enter its own sign of Pisces, which can be seen as a very good sign. Jupiter is a non-judgmental planet. Jupiter has nothing to do with like the way Rahu works, where there's a lot of self-interest which is always in the forefront, or Saturn where your karma is in forefront. Jupiter in the Pisces is all about bestowing all the very generously, offering the gifts, the opportunities, blessings, compassion, harmony. So that is definitely going to be bringing some very good results, specifically if in your chart Pisces sign is falling in some auspicious houses. And friends, from Saturn's perspective, so definitely Saturn, the planet of justice, is going to be entering the sign of Aquarius, its own ruled sign, in the end of the month of April, around like 27th of April. So that is definitely going to bring out some good results for all of us, because ever since Saturn has entered the Capricorn sign from the 2020, so whatsoever you have been working hard, in whichsoever direction you have been putting your efforts, so you can fairly see the results coming in. I have said this thing so many times. Friends, try to understand this thing. Like when we talk about from other planetary perspective, like for Mercury, Gemini is its one house where it encourages you to take initiatives, and by the time it reaches the Virgo, it's all about organizing that and perfecting that. But when we talk about Saturn, the distance from Capricorn to Aquarius is not that very far. So it's not like that Saturn is transiting to the Taurus and it has to wait a long time to enter a sign to manifest results. So whatsoever you have been working in the immediate past 2 years, the quick sudden result can actually materialize over here, or at least you will be able to judge or authenticate whether you are in the right direction or you need to re-strategize yourself. And lastly, I will not get into the controversy of the true transit dates of Rahu and Ketu, but basis my calculation, the actual result will strongly start coming in from April close to 13th, when Rahu will make a foray in the Aries sign. And definitely friends, lot of initiatives, lot of new beginnings are definitely going to be in the cards for everyone. So that is something friends which I wanted to give you as a quick update, that what is going to be happening in the transit in the sky, because as you know, as above so happens below. So now friends, we will shift our discussion to the customized ascendants, and beginning first with the Aries ascendant. So definitely friends, in your case, like a lot of planetary shift which is going to be taking place, and somehow the focal point or the epicenter of all of this monthly turmoil and shift is your 11th house, because as you can see, your 10th house lord is going to be entering over here. Mars, which is your ascendant lord, that is also going to be entering in the first half of the month of April only. And even friends, if we have to see from the sun's perspective as well, so sun entering your first house, glorifying your first house, being conjunct with Rahu, exploding the results, I would say definitely spotlight is there right on your head during this month. So whatsoever you have been working hard, this month can prove to be a game changer for you. Whether you talk about for some professional gains or for some sort of networking, or some friend in your close network helping you, connecting you with some sort of opportunity, or like the way I have already mentioned this thing, whatsoever in which line you have been working hard, you have been putting your efforts from past 2 years, from the beginning of the 2020, the result of that will manifest, will show signs in this month. And definitely friends, like your ascendant lord being in the 11th house is definitely going to make you very driven, very goal oriented during this month as well. The only thing is that this sudden conjunction of Sun and Rahu, that too in your first house. So I would say the time of April 13th and 14th is definitely going to be a very triggering time. So you have to be very cautious that if your personality is very, like if in your natal chart, your Mars is also placed in the Aries sign right there in the first house, or your Mars is very strong. So I would say that you have to remain a bit cautious that the sudden outburst or impulse or recklessness or very quick agility or those kind of action needs to be properly controlled during this time, because the moment sun is going to enter your first house, all the limelight is going to be coming right over there. So you will be put on a spot and everyone is going to be observing you. The way you behave, the way you manage, everything is going to matter during this month. But I would say friends, definitely for anything to do in the form of your career goals. Now this could be reaping the results of all the efforts you have put in, or getting into some new collaboration, new organization, new beginning. This month is going to be very fruitful for all the Aries ascendant natives. So friends, I'm not seeing the Aries ascendant natives vulnerable in any regard. Definitely regarding your 11th house and too much of the concentration of the planetary vibrations going in this house, I would say remain very much welcoming towards new collaboration, networking, meeting new people, and do not restrict yourself. Many times what happens is that even if you have been introduced to someone, so many times we remain little bit reluctant in order to open our plans or get into that comfort zone with other people. So I would say keep your social life active, and because of the support of some friend, this month can connect you with some very good big opportunity as well. Give proper attention to your health, and all those people who are in any way connected with the fields of media, mass media, entertainment, cinema, public speaking, you being a politician, working for the government. So during this month, some big recognition, accomplishment, achievement can be seen in cards for all the Aries ascendant natives. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Taurus ascendant natives, so friends, the whole planetary concentration is going to take place in your 10th house this month, because your ascendant lord is definitely going to be a part of it. Mars, which is soon going to be entering your 10th house, which is a very important planet for you, and at the end of the month, your Yoga Karaka planet Saturn will also enter your 10th house. So definitely friends, this is going to be a month when you have to remain workaholic, and your work has to be your first or topmost priority. Let's say for example, if you are in that stage of your life where you have to take some important decision or you have to initiate something regarding your professional front. Now this could be asking for a raise, asking for a different role, or starting a new website, or initiating some new plan, or applying out for a job. So for all of those perspective, this concentration of the planets in your 10th house, this much of the triggering effect in your 10th house is definitely going to be bringing some very good news for all of you people. And not only that friends, definitely Jupiter is definitely going to be entering your 11th house as well, which can be seen as a very good sign. So let's say for example, in your network circle or within your friend circle, if you have some sort of fallout in the past with your friends or with the group, or any sort of those kind of misunderstandings, those will definitely get removed. And the second thing is that in whichsoever house Jupiter enters, it opens up the door of opportunities. So definitely friends, lot many opportunities are waiting for you. Your friend circle, your network circle will play a very pivotal role in that. All the past misunderstandings, confusions are going to go away. And the last thing is that friends, just because you are going to have Sun and Rahu conjunction taking place in your 12th house, which is always a sensitive sign. The influence of Rahu over a very strong Sun, that too in the 12th house, where there is a lot of secrets, there is a lot of hidden energy involved over there, hidden enemies are also there in the 12th house. So friends, it all comes down to what kind of yogas you have in your chart, what kind of dashas you are currently going through. So basis that, you have to remain a bit cautious. If you know by yourself that involvement or initiating something or dealing with the questionable elements or any kind of engagement or activity could raise questions or concerns over your public image, so try to remain away or distance yourself from those kind of activities and engagements during this time. Definitely friends, all these kind of triggering effect coming in your 12th house can be seen as a good sign, specifically for all those people in whose case anything to do with the foreign lands, foreign investment, visa, immigration, businesses, anything to do with the adult industry, anything to do with the liquor industry, casinos, all these kind of businesses and trades and people engaged in these businesses can get benefited with this combined influence taking place in the 12th house. Because friends, it all comes down to an individual's aspirations and own morals. For some people, even getting involved in any scandals, it hardly matters to them as long as they are getting publicity. So it all comes down to what you aspire and what is your definition of recognition. So you have to take into consideration, because Rahu and Sun's combined influence taking place in your 12th house can create these kind of vulnerability as well. But apart from that, all those past misunderstandings getting removed and proper concrete substantial progress or development at your work front, from that regard, this transit or this month is definitely going to be bringing some very good news for all the Taurus ascendant natives. Moving ahead friends, now if you want to understand the results for all the Gemini ascendant natives, so definitely friends, if you will try to look at over here, the whole planetary concentration is going to be taking place in your 9th house. So if we have to take into consideration your ascendant lord, so the month is definitely going to start in a little bit a vulnerable mode, where your ascendant lord is going to be little bit weak in the 10th house. But friends, the moment Jupiter is going to enter your 10th house, it can definitely trigger some positive development, or let's say for example from you, some misunderstanding, some misspoken words, or you being epicenter of controversy. If those things would have taken place in the first half of the or first week of the month, so the moment Jupiter is going to enter your 10th house, it is definitely going to remove all those misunderstandings. Now friends, definitely this is going to be a month when the prospects of luck and fortune will definitely help you, benefit you. And let's say for example, if in your nature of work, line of work, or any sort of important travels or work related travels are getting qualified in your case, concerns of visa, immigration are getting qualified in your case, you have to undertake any long travel, in order to wrap up some business meetings or some business kind of tie-ups and all of that. So even from all of those perspectives, the concentration of the planets taking place in your 9th house can be seen as a very good sign. Whether you are student of post graduation, you are going through your PhDs and all of that, or let's say for example all those people who are applying for foreign universities and all of that, so all those people can get benefited during this time. The one thing is that friends, just because the planetary conjunction taking place in your 11th house, Sun being exalted and Rahu being getting conjunct over there, so specifically from 11th till 14th or 15th of the month of April is something when you have to remain a bit cautious. The kind of people who are going to come in contact with you, what is their credibility, what do they want out of you, or the kind of network if they want to get into with you, or business agreement or tie-up or partnership they want to get into with you. So you have to remain a bit cautious regarding the true intentions of the people you will come in contact with. But definitely friends, like let's say for example, like the way we say any publicity in the world of media is a good publicity. So I would say that if the concerns of mass media, fame, recognition is getting qualified in your case, you work in the field of mass media, or let's say even politics, or working for the government, if all those prospects are getting qualified in your case, so with an exalted sun and the influence of Rahu is suddenly going to trigger or magnify the prospects of your 11th house, where all the opportunities reside, or connections or support from your friend. This month is definitely going to be creating some very positive energy for you. The only thing is that in the like specifically in the first week of April, you have to remain a bit cautious when Sun and Mercury is going to be debilitated in your 10th house. But afterwards, when Jupiter will enter your 10th house and with a very accentuated, highlighted 9th house, definitely luck will support you during this month, and for any sort of recognition, new beginnings, and suddenly making or coming in attention or notice of everyone, this month is triggering some very good energy for all the Gemini ascendant natives. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Cancer ascendant natives, so definitely friends, this month to begin with, first I have to take into consideration your 10th house, the house of your profession, your actions, your public image. So your 10th house is being ruled by the planet Mars, so and your ascendant is ruled by the moon. So your whole personality is being ruled by your emotions, your feelings. And if your Mars is dignified in your chart, then it's fine. Otherwise, Sun being dignified in your 10th house and the influence of Rahu over here. So these are those kind of triggering circumstances or events where people suddenly quit the job, they do something out of driven by their emotions, their feelings, driven by impulse. So you have to remain very cautious during this month, because whatsoever you are going to do, that is going to have a straight impact on your public image and your profession and your relationship with the bosses or the authority figures. Now with that said, that doesn't mean that it's only going to make you vulnerable. This could also give you some sudden opportunity, some foreign connection, prospects of recognition, name, fame, glory. So anything can happen. It all comes down to the dasha or the yogas which you have right now in your chart. The second thing is that friends, definitely if you will see over here, the planetary concentration this month is definitely going to be strong in your 8th house. So I would say that definitely if you are a spiritually driven person, then definitely this concentration of the planets in your 8th house can create some positive energy or result for you. Heightened level of spiritual conscious awareness, interest in the mystic subjects, occult subjects, trying to find solace in worship, in devotion. This is how we can see the theme coming out for you guys this month. And definitely friends, like let's say for example, if your occupation, your livelihood revolves or hovers around the 8th house related matters, whether you talk about insurance, revenue, anything to do with the occult fields, spirituality, film business, being an actor, being in adult industry, so definitely you can get benefited. And friends, the beauty over here during this month is that the most auspicious planet out of all the 9 planets, which is the planet Jupiter, is going to be entering your 9th house. So definitely the prospects of your luck is getting glorified. I've already mentioned this thing. Jupiter is not a planet which is very miser in terms of offering gifts. Jupiter is not like self-driven, which is the Rahu, and Jupiter is not that judgmental or karmic justice driven, which is the planet Saturn. So definitely friends, lot of travels, lot of right set of mentors, advisors coming your way. So from all of those regard, like whether you are in that stage of your life, you are pursuing your higher studies, or you're applying for visa or immigration, foreign universities, so all those people can get benefited if in your case, in your life, any of your aspirations or dreams or your projects have been long awaiting some nudge or push of luck. Things have from the past couple of months or weeks have come to a standstill. So the push or nudge from the luck can make things again go and work in your favor during this month. And lastly friends, definitely you have to remain very much respectful towards your father. And along with that, any sort of religious austerities specifically, ever since or whenever Jupiter will enter the Pisces sign, because I think in the timelines of Rahu and Ketu, there is a lot of confusion. But for Jupiter, finally and thankfully, it's very clear. So on April 13th, when Jupiter will enter your 9th house, so religious austerities, pilgrimage, mantra, chanting, visiting the places of religious significance can actually support and enhance or reinforce the prospects of your luck. So definitely some good news awaiting for all the Cancer ascendant natives during this month. Moving ahead, friends, now if you want to understand the results for all the Leo ascendant natives, so definitely friends, in your case, if you will try to see over here your ascendant lord, which is planet Sun, so this is the time of the year when your ascendant lord gains its full glory. So now this month or this year is little bit distinctive, because Rahu is also going to get conjunct with your ascendant lord in the most auspicious house of your astrological chart, in the 9th house. So I would say, friends, definitely the nudge or the push of luck is bound to happen this month. So any project which has been long stalled can suddenly take a quick leap. Any of the prospects of foreign travel, immigration, prospects of recognition, applying for foreign universities, you can think about that. The only concern is that, friends, because this transit of Rahu is not like a transit of moon or any slow moving planet. So now Rahu is going to be over here, and Rahu is going to make your 9th house as its home for the another 18 months. The only thing is that during this time or this month, the impact will be more stronger, because it is going to be in influence with your ascendant lord as well. So if you want to initiate something, trigger something, I can give you a free hand. It all comes down to the credibility of the people who are involved, your public image. You have to remain very protective of that, because Sun and Rahu conjunction with a exalted Sun, whatsoever is going to happen, that's going to happen in a very intense, in a very triggering, in a very quick way. So remain very much cautious and calculative of that as well, that what kind of consequences or results are going to come for your actions pertaining to your public image. Do you have to compromise on your integrity or your morals or your values? So remain very much cautious regarding that front. I've already mentioned this thing. Luck is definitely going to support you. Any of the 9th house related prospects, specifically if travel, if any foreign university, or you being pursuing your higher studies, if all those prospects are getting qualified in your case. The second thing is that, friends, definitely in the transit, your 7th house is going to gain lot of strength during this month. So for any sort of commercial activities, prospects of your name, fame, image getting enhanced, and for looking out, seeking out for some new partners, or launching up some new product, or getting the support of the mass media, if you are a politician, you are a content creator, in any way 7th house related matters are getting qualified in your case. So definitely, friends, this month is going to be creating some very positive news and results for all of you guys, because as you know this thing, that in your case Mars is your Karka planet. So Mars is going to be entering on April 7th. It's going to be entering your 7th house, and Venus is also going to be conjunct over here. And briefly, as you can see with the influence of briefly with the Jupiter over here as well, because afterwards, like after April 13th, Jupiter will move to the 8th house. But the point which I'm trying to make over here is that definitely this is going to be time when you will be very much passionately driven regarding your duties, whether it's for your public life, whether it's about your duty towards your married life, towards your partner, even for all those people who are single, trying to get married or be in relationship. This month can also prove to be very fruitful, very auspicious for you. And friends, the moment Jupiter is going to enter your 8th house, so I would say that the transit of Jupiter in the 8th house, primarily it has everything to do with the spirituality. If in your case, whether your occupation is connected with that, or your aspirations are hover around or matters of the 8th house. But moreover, friends, like whenever we talk about all the past wounds or traumas or psychological crisis, if you have been a victim of that, you have been battling with that, you have been dealing with them, so the entry of Jupiter in your 8th house can actually bring the healing compassion and healing waters in the matters of the 8th house. So all the situation of crisis, trauma, psychological problems, if you have been going through, all those problems can get dissipated. And in those cases where people have their profession, their livelihood connected with the 8th house related matters, whether insurance, revenue, being an actor, being a psychologist, being a counselor, all those people can also get benefited the moment Jupiter is going to enter your 8th house. Moving ahead, friends, now for all the Virgo ascendant natives. So friends, in your case, as you can fairly see that this month will begin for you guys with the first major transit of Mars entering your 6th house. So definitely friends, the transit of Mars in the 6th house is always considered as a little bit of vulnerable energy in the form of the way you manage your relationship with the people in your daily work life, because Mars is not a very auspicious planet for the Virgo ascendant natives. The second thing is that definitely friends, your ascendant lord is initially going to be a little bit weak over there in your 7th house as well. So friends, this month the energy is making you a little bit vulnerable in this regard that any sudden impulsive decision needs to be avoided or taken with lot of contemplation, lot of caution and care. Because friends, as you can fairly see that Sun getting exalted in your 8th house and with the combined energy and influence of Rahu over here as well. So you have to remain a bit cautious, because whatsoever gets up or triggered from the 8th house, there is always a fear and vulnerability with that as well, which could in a way malign your image as well. So you have to remain a bit cautious the way you act, the way you behave. Let's say for example, if in your lifestyle over indulgences is a major area of concern, whether when you are on the road, when you drive, when you party, the way you drink, the way you smoke. So moderation is very much required this month for all the Virgo ascendant natives. The only way I'm looking at this month to be auspicious for the Virgo ascendant native is that Jupiter is going to be entering your 7th house. So in the 7th house related matters, if there have been some delays, whether in the form of you are single, awaiting to get married for a long time, or from the past there has been some misunderstanding within your matrimonial life, within your business partnership and business model, so all those problems can get removed. The mere entry of Jupiter in the 7th house is definitely going to open up many doors of opportunities for you as well. Also the prospects of your public image getting enhanced. Even from that regard, the entry of Jupiter in your 7th house is the important pillar of the positivity this month for you. But apart from that friends, when we talk about the matters of the 6th house and the matters of the 8th house, because friends, like the way we say this thing that 6th house is the house of enemies, 8th house is the house of the battlegrounds, and the result of that is like either the 7th house or the 12th house. So you have to remain a bit cautious during this month. Try not to get into conflict with people. Even if you want to make any amendments in your daily work life with your routine, you can fairly think about or consider doing that. But when it comes down to managing your workforce, if you are on a leadership role, the way you treat or deal with your juniors, with your subordinates, with your teammates, that needs to be monitored with proper caution, with proper care. And regarding friends 8th house related matters, so I have already said this thing specifically for all those people in whose case your activities, your engagements, your actions are, if they are little bit unethical, little bit unlawful, are questionable in the society, so you have to remain very cautious, because Sun and Rahu gaining too much power in the 8th house can actually suddenly bring those kind of unpleasing results as well. So you have to remain very cautious regarding your activities, your behavior, your engagements during this month. And I've already said this thing friends, 7th house is going to be bringing positive news for you, and if only you know how to be disciplined in your daily work life, and you are a kind of person who has got strong endurance, resilience and fortitude in any contradictory or a conflicting situation, then you can also rise and shine as well. Specifically for all those people who are in any sort of 6th house related profession and fields, whether we talk about nursing, medical field, law, or being a cop, being in the fields of law and justice, all those people can get benefited. Some sort of new role, new responsibilities might get bestowed to all these people. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Libra ascendant natives, So definitely friends, to begin with, the month will begin with like the planetary concentration, as you can freely see, taking place in your 5th house, 6th house, 7th house. To begin with the 7th house. So friends, the conjunction of Sun and Rahu in your 7th house can be seen as a good news in this regard, because when we talk about the creative industry, glamorous industry, this industry is majorly occupied by people who are like either Venus in moon sign or the Venus in ascendant. So when we talk about being in these field, because your 5th house in the transit is also gaining lot of strength. So if you are working in the fashion industry, creative industry, so this concentration or conjunction of Sun and Rahu in your 7th house can suddenly give you recognition. People are suddenly interested in you, people are talking about you, there is a lot of curiosity being built around you. What are you up to? So if in your case public dealing, mass media dealing is getting qualified, so some sudden triggering result opportunity can happen during this month. Again friends, whenever we talk about the Sun and the Rahu influence, it all comes down to what is your aspiration and your definition of recognition is. Because like the way we talk about in the film business, in the creative business, like there are those people who are ready to go to any extent. Their philosophy in the life is that any sort of publicity is good publicity, but there are those who are very particular regarding their public image. So it all comes down to what you are up to. Your actions, your activities are definitely going to be monitored during this month. Also friends, because this whole concentration is taking place in your 7th house of your relationship, matrimonial life, so try to remain a bit cautious, try not to be very impulsive, because suddenly whatsoever is going to happen during this time is going to be very sudden in nature. So because of the accomplishment or achievement of your partner, your public image might also get enhanced, or you might also become a subject of public ridicule because of something stupid done by your partner. So try to remain a bit cautious regarding the matters of your 7th house. I'll again say the same thing friends, because Rahu is going to make its home in your 7th house for another 18 months. It's just like that. Our Sun, being your 11th house lord, is going to be briefly conjunct in the 7th house. So like energy of the relationship, of network, of public recognition, awards, all those energies of your connections influencing you, your aspirations, the way they influence you, everything is this month is going to be hovering around the matters of the 7th house. So try to remain bit particular, bit cautious the way you conduct, the way you behave in any public setting, and remain bit cautious regarding the way you deal with your partner if you are already in relationship. When we talk about from the perspective of the relationship, so I would say friends that definitely during this time the energy of relationship could materialize, like with your 5th house being very much accentuated, Mars and Venus being in the house of relationship, love, romance, attraction, and Rahu and Sun taking place in the 7th house. So I would say that definitely this can be seen as a very good month in running into someone very promising. Like this could be like suddenly there is a local celebrity, you always adore that person, and suddenly you get in touch or a chance to meet that person, and that person is also interested in you. So all those things and stories or gossips can take place during this month. Nothing is impossible. But when we talk about from the perspective of a marriageable match or a substantial or a long lasting relationship, so regarding that front you have to remain bit open and bit cautious and understanding on that front. Now friends, coming to the role which Jupiter is going to be taking place this month for you guys. So definitely friends, Jupiter is going to be entering your 6th house. When we talk about the matters of the 6th house, so definitely friends, you are like among those people for whom relationship and relationship management, your daily work life, how you get along with everyone, all those things matters a lot for you. What people are talking behind you, the way you get along with people, is someone giving you hard time, is someone giving you cold shoulder. So all these things affect very deeply to all the Libra ascendant natives. And definitely friends, the transit of Jupiter in the 6th house is definitely going to improve and reinforce the matters of your 6th house. So lot many opportunities specifically for all those people who are like service professional. You are in any sort of corporate job, you are in health industry, you are in fitness industry, industry, you are in medical industry, so all those people can get benefited. Rather, I would say also people in the fields of judiciary as well, all those people can get benefited because of the transit of Jupiter taking place in your 6th house. Now friends, when we talk about from the perspective of the Mars and Venus in your 5th house, the only thing which I want to say over here is that definitely this is a month of enjoyment, of enjoying life, going on travels, fulfilling your desires, your hobbies, road trip, all those things can materialize. Whether you are in the fields of art or creativity, the limelight, your magnetic personal magnetism, the charm in your personality is going to be very strong in the artistic and creative field. If you are involved in those fields, so some sort of opportunity, delivering some good work and getting appreciated for your work, all those things can materialize. But again friends, when we talk about Mars and Venus energy in the 5th house, that can also give rise to lot of hedonism as well. So there has to be proper moderation in any sort of indulgences if that is getting qualified in your case. And for all those people who are students, who are still undergoing their studies and their high school and all of that, so you have to remain a bit cautious that you should not get distracted to an extent that your grades are going to suffer during this month. Moving ahead friends, now for all these Scorpio ascendant natives, so friends, as you can freely see over here, to begin with, the influence of Sun and Rahu over there in your 6th house. So friends, you have to understand this thing, that whenever we talk about the 6th house specifically for the Scorpio ascendant native, it becomes very important that because your ascendant lord only rules this house, so whatsoever is going to happen in the matters of the 6th house, you are always affected because of the development of your 6th house. So the friends, the point which I'm trying to make over here is that Sun and the Rahu influence taking place in your 6th house is indicating that somehow the challenges and the threats and the competitors are going to be very strong or are going to be very provocative. So you have to maintain your calm. If you think that you do not get along well with someone and that person is instigating you with his behavior or with his actions, so you have to remain a bit calm, because the energies are going to take place in this way that they are definitely going to instigate you or provoke you. And as you know this thing friends, that because in your case Sun has got the rulership of your 10th house as well, so any impulsive, reckless, headstrong actions done by you is going to have a strong impact or influence in your professional life as well. So you have to maintain your calm regarding that front. The second thing is that friends, definitely as you can see over here, that Jupiter is going to be entering your 5th house. So anything to do with the prospects of expanding your family, or you have been awaiting for expanding your family to have or planning a progeny, this time period can be seen as a very good auspicious time. For all those people who are still student, they can get benefited because of the auspicious positive presence of Jupiter in your 5th house. Even for any sort of relationship perspective as well, this transit of Jupiter in the 5th house can be seen as a very good sign. I always say this thing friends, that although like any time is good time for reciting the name of the god, but all those mantra practice and chanting and devotion done specifically during the time when Jupiter is transiting through the 9th house or 5th house is considered as the best time. And the second thing is that friends, definitely with the transit of your ascendant lord taking place in your 4th house with the Mars and Venus being present over there, so friends, like definitely for the any concrete material signification connected with the 4th house, you being working in the fields of real estate or construction, manpower management, you can get benefited. Like even if you are working in the fields of home decor, architecture, or anything to do with the dealing of the luxury goods or buying and selling of the vehicles and all of that, all those people can get benefited. The only thing is that you have to keep your temper in control, because whenever Mars transits the 4th house, 4th house somehow has to do what is happening deep within ourselves, our emotions, the churning up of our emotions. So let's say for example, driven by the emotions, being overwhelmed by the emotions, if you did something which is reckless in nature and your 6th house is right now also a bit agitated, it can have a vulnerable consequences as well. So try to give attention to that. But let's say for example friends, if I were to summarize this month's theme for you, so for anything to do with the spiritual pursuit, anything to do with the artistic creative pursuit, and with the presence of Jupiter in the 5th house, definitely try to take more of the religious and spiritual route this month, rather than getting triggered or initiating something which could land you into some sort of conflict. But again friends, I would say the same thing, that like let's say for example, for all those people, if in your nature of work, you being working in the fields of judiciary, you being working in the fields of any arbitration or law and justice field, or health or service industry, if that is getting qualified in your case, and most importantly Mars is dignified and strengthened in your chart, then all those things or challenges or the threatful situation which is going to get generated, you might be able to utilize that in your advantage as well. So friends, it all comes down to the placement of Mars in your natal chart and what kind of dashas you are currently going through. Moving ahead friends, now let's say for example, if you want to understand the monthly prediction results for all the Sagittarius ascendant natives, so definitely friends, if you will try to understand over here, in transit to begin with, your ascendant lord is going to be entering a very auspicious house. Like the way we say this thing, that the transit of Jupiter in the natural Kalpurush Kundli's 4th house, where it attains exaltation, is considered as a very good sign. So let's say for example, for a long time you have been trying to buy your own home, or any renovation in the home front, anything to do with the spiritual, or any important events or decision making in your domestic life matters. If those events have been long awaited, all those events can take place, or you might be able to lay foundation for all those events during this month. The second thing is that friends, definitely your 3rd house getting empowered during this month can also be seen as a very good sign, because friends, in your case Mars has got the rulership of your 5th house as well, and it is going to be transiting with Venus in the 3rd house. So if in your occupation, in your livelihood in any way, if social media, sales, media, marketing, networking, you have your own business, you are a performing artist, you are a freelance, you are a skilled person, so all those people can get benefited in the form of, you are definitely going to be putting lot of passion in your craft, which is going to get recognized. Your capacity to network and gain good attention, or bring more people in your network, in your circle of influence, making more connections. From all of those regard, this month is creating some very good energy for all the Sagittarius ascendant natives. Even if you want to initiate something, sign up something, this month can be seen as very promising for all of that as well. The only sensitivity is in the matters of the 5th house, because friends, as you can see over here, that in your 5th house your sun is getting exalted and it is conjunct with Rahu as well. So let's say for example friends, if in your case your occupation involves working in the fields of media, creativity, so definitely it's a very good sign, because when we talk about 5th house has everything to do with our personal magnetism, the kind of facial attraction which we have, our personality holds. So definitely friends, during this month, if you are working in the creative field, you will be at your creative best during this month, being open to and being able to access some original creative ideas and capacity to gain a good sort of recognition out of the work which you are going to create during this month. That can be seen as a very good sign, because Rahu's influence on the sun is definitely going to trigger and amplify the solar qualities. And as you know this thing, that sun is the chief significator of originality, and Rahu also represents being innovative. So this is going to be a month when you will be very much open towards experimenting with your craft as well. Your mind will function in a way that you will be open to take chances, try some new things. So regarding all of those prospects, this month seems to be very promising for all the Sagittarius ascendant natives. Regarding the love, romance and romantic liaisonship, friends, definitely some sort of affair, some sort of fling, someone entering your life, or suddenly getting attracted to someone, all those things can also materialize. And the good part over here is that whenever we talk about the transit of Jupiter, it's not only the Jupiter transiting the 7th house or aspecting the 7th house, Jupiter is considered as very dignified, very benefic in the 4th house as well. So definitely friends, in order to attract opportunities, opposite sex, or whatsoever your sexual orientation is, in order to attract relationship towards you, this month is definitely going to be creating some very positive energy and good news for all these Sagittarius ascendant natives. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Capricorn ascendant natives, so definitely friends, during this month, finally your ascendant lord Saturn is going to be coming out of your first house. It's going to be entering your second house, which is definitely going to be kind of little bit unloading you, or de-stressing you a little bit, because the transit of Saturn right over there in the first house is always a time of added burden of responsibilities. The second way to look at this month is that definitely friends, in transit your second house is getting very much attention over here. Lot of planetary shift is taking place or going through your second house. So the prospects of financial gain, new financial doors or opportunities opening up for you regarding that front, this month is creating some very good energies for you. Because friends, you have to understand this thing, that Mars in your case has got the rulership of your 4th house, but it has also got the rulership of your 11th house of opportunities as well. So someone whom you know, or because of the support of your acquaintances, your network, your influence, some insight, some development regarding your financial matters can be foreseen during this month. So the churning up in your financial matters is definitely going to be proving in your favor. The second thing is that friends, as you can fairly see that in transit, Jupiter is going to be entering your 3rd house. So friends, although for Jupiter to be in the 3rd house is a Mandakaraka Avastha for it, but when we talk about regarding the non-living signification for initiating something, more opportunities, if your line of work is involved, social media, digital media, sales, media, marketing, content creation, performing artist, so some new opportunities are definitely going to be awaiting for you. And like the way friends we say that Jupiter's influence in the Pisces is all about being very forgiving, showcasing compassion. So I would say that even in the matters of the 3rd house, if in the past there has been some misunderstanding with your friends, within your neighbors, with your siblings, so all those misunderstandings are going to be resolved during this month once Jupiter is going to enter your 3rd house. Now friends, when we talk about from the matters of the 4th house, there is little bit of the vulnerability over here, because as you know this thing that whatsoever happens in the 4th house, it has got a straight impact and influence on our deep inner emotional state. And Capricorn ascendant native are already very stern, very hardworking, very serious, very visionary in the life, very deep thinker in the life. So definitely friends, regarding the inner emotional state, there is going to be kind of a churning up which is going to be taking place over here. So I would say in the domestic matters, try to remain a bit cautious. Do not come quickly, suddenly to any conclusion. Try not to be very judgmental while dealing with the living matters, whether this could be your mother, whether this could be people within your close ties, within your family. So try not to be very quick to come to any conclusion. And this is definitely going to be time when whatsoever is going to be happening in your life, it is definitely going to have strong impact, or it's going to hit you very hard. Now this could be getting very excited and happy for the good events as well, or this could be getting very bogged down for any unpleasing news as well. So try to keep your emotions, your feelings in moderation. Try not to get swayed away with the force of the emotions. And I would say that if in your case your livelihood hovers around the matters of the 4th house, construction, real estate, buying and selling of vehicles, home decor and all of that, so good results can be anticipated, because your 4th house lord is the Mars only, which is going to be dignified in the 2nd house. So good results can be anticipated, financial rewards can be anticipated. The only thing is that when we talk about dealing with the new people, new sign up, new agreement, so there you have to remain a bit cautious, specifically the credibility of the people or the way it's going to impact your public image. Those are the areas where you have to remain a little bit cautious. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Aquarius ascendant natives, so friends, as you can freely see over here, that Saturn, which is your ascendant lord, is going to be coming out of your 12th house and is going to be entering your 1st house, which can be seen as good sign in this regard that whatsoever Saturn wanted you to be rid of, Saturn might have done its part with its transit in the 12th house. With Saturn's transit in the first house, definitely it's going to open up some new chapters for you. Now friends, like the way we say that Saturn's influence on the first house, whether on the ascendant, whether on the moon, is seen as a good time for gaining authority, but always authority comes with the added responsibilities. So that is going to be a theme for you guys, that new chapters are bound to open up this month for you guys. The second thing is that friends, with the transit of Jupiter taking place in your second house, can be seen as a very good sign, because second house has everything to do with your finances, and Jupiter is not judgmental or restrictive, right, like other planets. Jupiter is definitely going to be opening up new doors of financial gains for you guys. The new and expansive visionary way of managing your finances, whether you are in your family business, you are in banking, you are in any sort of technology related field, all those people can get benefited. New opportunities are going to come in the way of reinforcing or enhancing your financial state. Another way of looking at this transit is that friends, definitely as you can see that Mars and Venusian influence in your first house is definitely going to make you kind of very passionate regarding all spheres of your life. Whether we talk about the way you conduct yourself within your friend circle, within your family life, or the way you chase your dreams, your hobbies. So I would say that the influence of Mars and Venus right over there in your first house is definitely going to attract many people towards you because of the enthusiasm and passion which you hold in your personality. The only vulnerability or the pros and cons which are like set aside for you as your theme during this month is that the influence of Rahu and Sun taking place in your third house. So friends, as you can fully see over here that Sun, which has got the rulership of your seventh house, and in transit Sun getting exalted in your third house, but with the influence of Rahu over here. So definitely friends, your public image is going to be a matter of everyone's curiosity and discussion during this month. So try not to make yourself a part of the controversies or scandals or getting involved in other people's business during this month, because when we talk about all sort of networking, and when we talk about gossips and all the friendliness and friendly activities, we generally give attention to the third house only. But that doesn't mean that this month and this influence of Sun and Rahu in the third house cannot initiate or trigger some new opportunity for you. So for initiating something, getting result of all the past hard work which you have been doing in, and cashing on the support from your network, from your influence, this month can be seen as a very good time. Whether you are a performing artist, you are a freelance person, or you work in the fields of sales, media, marketing, so definitely friends, you will be at your creative best during this time. Your capacity to project yourself, the way you're going to present yourself, the way you're going to communicate, the way you're going to express, definitely it's going to create good sort of hype and impress people with your out of the box way of presenting yourself. The only thing is that when we talk about the matters connected with the third house, so definitely friends, regarding your friends within your neighborhood, when we talk about acting out of impulse or doing anything where your public image could be at stake, so there you have to remain a bit cautious, because let's say for example, if you're trying to outsmart anyone, or if you're trying to take advantage of anyone, so with this combined influence of Rahu and Sun in the third house can also little bit raise a question mark in your public image as well. But also friends, during this month, if in your case you are in any sort of social media, mass media related profile, your partner is like your life partner is also has got a contribution to your occupation, to your livelihood, if all those prospects are getting qualified, so definitely success, recognition because of your talent can be foreseen during this month for all the Aquarius ascendant natives. And lastly friends, for all the Pisces ascendant natives, so definitely friends, as you can see over here, the first good thing for all the Pisces ascendant native is that your ascendant lord Jupiter is going to be entering your first house. So more opportunities if you have been going through the concerns of health. So the influence of Jupiter in the first house is definitely going to remove all those possibilities. The second thing is that Jupiter coming in the first house is also a very good sign for all those people in whose case dealing with the mass media is an integral part of your occupation or livelihood, because Jupiter is a planet which kind of bring its benefic influence in the house where it transits. So you will be perceived as someone who is very wise, who is very knowledgeable. If in your nature or line of work consulting is an integral part, so other people are definitely going to get benefited because of the advices given by you. The second thing is that, friends, definitely, as you can see over here, that in transit Sun and Rahu are going to get conjunct in your second house, and in your case, friends, Sun has also got the rulership of the sixth house as well. So I would say that this is not a very good time to lend your money to anyone, or also do not get involved in any sort of financial transactions with people where the credibility is involved or concerned. So regarding any financial new decision, new initiatives, I would say that you have to remain little bit cautious or little bit vulnerable during this month, because it could happen that some scheme, some proposal which will look very good on the surface might have some hidden clauses or agendas which might not be very good for you. So regarding that matters, you have to remain little bit cautious. The second thing is that, friends, when we talk about the 11th house, so as you can see over here that Mars is going to be entering your 12th house, so which can be seen as a good energy only in this regard, that when we talk about anything to do with the foreign trade, anything to do with the because for devotion perspective, because in your case Mars has got the rulership of your 9th house as well. So as you can see, with the rulership of your 9th house and 2nd house, which also tells about our Kul Devta, our tradition, our values. So for any sort of religious pursuit, this can be seen as a very good time. But apart from that, friends, when we talk about Mars and Venusian energy taking place in your 12th house, so I would say that there has to be proper discipline in your conduct, in your actions, because all those people where some sort of clandestine activities, having a very frivolous nature, or unethical acts, unlawful acts, if that is getting qualified, or if in your lifestyle which is very much hedonistic, there is no moderation in your indulgences, then you can face the heat. So if I were to summarize this transit for you, so for the improvement in the prospects of your health or new opportunities coming your way, this month is creating some very positive energy for you guys. Regarding your financial dealings, whether it's about asking money from someone or lending your money to someone, you have to remain very cautious. And for any sort of spiritual or religious pursuits, even if you have to take into consideration any pilgrimages as well, or foreign travels as well, this month is creating some very positive energy for all the Pisces ascendant natives. So friends, this is something which I wanted to say as a consolidated combined transit results for this crazy month of April, where there is a lot of planetary shift which is taking place, and all the planets are in a mode to change their residences and create corresponding results in our lives as well. So for further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyawad.